All right. Okay. Hello and greetings. Welcome into my channel. I am Professor L, and I'm hosting this live stream for math tutoring. And yeah, so happy Thursday. I hope everyone's doing well. And I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. Yeah, I am working on systems of linear equations right now, and I'm solving them using matrices. And tonight, what I want to do is I want to introduce a system of four variables and see how I do. And yeah, if you have a math problem you would like to see worked out, any kind of math really, I'm willing to give it a shot. Honestly, I like all kinds of math. Some maths I like better than others. But if you need help with your math, that's really what this platform is about, as far as my channel anyway. Just trying to support students of any age, and no matter where you're at in your math, yeah, come hang out, do some math with me. You're welcome to post your problems in the chat. And in the meantime, I'm just going to be working on my board, practicing talking about the math. It is not intuitive to work and talk at the same time. So that's a skill that I have to develop. And yeah, thank you for supporting me and watching my video while I'm gaining a skill. So yeah, all right, I'm just going to get into it and go ahead and erase everything except for the title. I'm still using this method of Gauss-Jordan Elimination. And see if I have some luck with this system. And I'm still working out of my linear algebra textbook, and we're still in chapter 1. Believe it or not, it's 1.1. It's the first section of the first chapter of this entire book. So I really liked working with matrices. This is the first time I've ever presented the material in any capacity. Usually I'm just burning the midnight oil working the math by myself. And so it's interesting. It's like, welcome to my world and look at my math. Pretty cool. Anyway, so I hope I picked a good marker, and we're almost done with chapter 1.1. Next time, maybe we'll try to get into something different. All right, so we'll just work this one. This one says 3. How am I going to represent this? We need a new variable. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and say 3W. I had to go through the alphabet in my head. So plus 6x minus 3, let's see. And then we have W plus 3x minus y minus 4z. And this one is equal to 3. This one is negative 12. This next one is W minus x plus y plus 2z equal 8. And we've got 2w minus x plus y equal 2. All right, so let me just double check, make sure we wrote these down correctly. Oh, that's a pin. I was wondering what that is. All right. So the first one we have 3w plus 6x minus 3z equals 3. We've got x, or rather w, plus 3x minus y minus 4z equal -12. And we've got w minus x plus y plus 2z equal 8. And then we've got 2w plus, how did I get that wrong? X plus y. Goodness, bless me. All right. So somehow I got this one mixed up. So it's 2w I was way off. 2w plus 3x, and that equals 8. All right, so we have this system, and it says it has a unique solution. And right now, I'll just look it up real quick and see what the solution is, just in case it gives it to me. So we've got C. Okay, this one is not in the back of the book. All right, so we don't have the solution, which is fine. We'll figure it out. All right, so I'm hoping to have this solved tonight. However, if it doesn't get solved, it's not the end of the world. It's not Friday yet, so I have tomorrow also. Some of these take time. They're not easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to first set it up, and we're going to write our augmented matrix. And what it's going to turn into is going to be a 4 by 5 matrix. It's going to be pretty large. So I'm going to have to try to write a little bit smaller. And so I'm going to start here, so I can fit it in with these lines. And what we have to do is we have to line up our columns correctly. So in column 1, we want all of our W values. Column 2 is going to contain all X's. Column 3 will contain all Y's. Column 4 will contain all Z's. And then column 5 is going to be just my constants. So remember, the constant is the number in your equation that doesn't have a variable attached to it. It's a constant. So all of the numbers that have variables attached to them are the coefficients, and those are the ones that are going to go on the left side of your matrices, of your matrix, rather. All right, so we're just going to start listing. So I've got 3, 1, 1, 2. That's my first column. And I've got all X's here, so I'm good here. So I've got W, X solid, but then Y and Z, some of these are missing, okay? So on this one, we'll have for column 2, it's going to be 6, 3, -1, -3. And then Y, I've got missing a Y, so it's going to be a 0. And then this is going to be a -1, 1. There's no Y here, so it's another 0. And then same thing with Z, we're going to use 0 as our placeholder. The first one has a Z. The second one has a Z, it's -4. The third one has a Z of 2. The fourth equation has no Z, so we're going to fill that in to 0. We got X or W, X, Y, Z. And we'll order it that way because it's an ordered pair and it's an actual location on the graph in 4D space. So if you could imagine that. And so now we have all our constants, but 3, -12, 8, 8. And this is how you would write your augmented matrix. So this would be like step 1. Now, what we're going to do is step 2 is going to be a long process, because we're going to use elementary row operations. I gotta get my drink. Got a soda. Hopefully it'll give me some energy in the bed. It's been a long day and I'm exhausted. I really feel like this is important, so I'm going to show up every day. Show up every day, regardless of how tired I am. And not a lot of soda, but just a little tiny bit. It actually helps sometimes. Don't overdo it, don't overindulge. All right, so here goes the elementary row operations. And remember, we're adding, not really subtracting. There is no subtraction in with matrix operations. What you're doing is you're adding a negative. So if you keep that in mind, multiply by the scalar of -1, and then that is how you would employ the negative. Because there is no, since order matters, then basically you wouldn't be able to commute the negative. And so it's kind of, I mean, technically you're not subtracting, but really you are. So it's just the additive inverses, basically. So you're doing addition, multiplication, and division, not necessarily in order. So remember the basic 3 elementary row operations that you can have. You can add any 2 equations. You can swap out the order of any 2 equations, and you can multiply any of the equations by scalar. And scalar is just any number, fraction, or whole number, positive or negative, that quantifies that row of your matrices. And the goal of elementary row operations is to achieve that identity matrix on one side. Notice I have this little bar in here. So all of this is going to turn into the identity matrix. And what an identity matrix looks like, and I'm going to erase it. I'm going to put it up here, but I'll erase it. But what I'm talking about for 4 variable would be, it's in row reduced echelon form, and it's just your coefficients. And what it is it's a diagonal of 1s down the forward slash. So notice each column has a 1, and systematically each row has a 1. And the 1s are appearing only once down a perfect diagonal. So this would be your identity matrix for 4x4. So after you've performed all of your row operations, you're going to end up with this identity matrix, and then you've got something else here. And whatever appears up here after you're done doing your elementary row operations is your solution to your system. If you've worked it out correctly. Most of the mistakes that appear in upper level mathematics are actually attributed to those basic 4 math operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And so we got to be really careful about the little details. And unfortunately, if you're looking for perfection, you're looking in the wrong place right here, because I will mess up anything like at any point in time. Like, I don't know why I was born that way, but I just was. And Over the years, I've been frustrated with myself, but now I've just learned to be comfortable in my own skin and really just accept and embrace me and my imperfections. Like who wants to be held to a standard like that? That's too stressful. Like I picture trying to be perfect, and honestly, it just seems like it's too stressful. So I embrace your mistakes and just look at that as an opportunity to improve somehow. And really, that's what I do. And um, if you're not overly talented or you're not a super genius, it's okay. You show up every day, you put in hard work, you can be successful. And really, that's how I have been able to be successful in my life. And any lack in talent or ability has been made up brute force by just showing up and working hard. And so hopefully I'm giving you that as an example, setting a good example for anyone out there that's aspiring to be good at math or wants to be good at anything really that's challenging. And math is challenging, and it's one of the reasons why I enjoy math, and it's my favorite subject. So I'm gonna go ahead and erase this and see if we can just do a couple of these row operations. And really, I want to solve this system in as few steps as possible. And what I mean by few is as little steps as possible. So I'm looking at this matrix and seeing what I can do. And without doing any kind of other, just using the addition of the rows, it looks like right here and right here, if I add these two equations, I'm going to make a 0 here. And then I could just swap out the row. I can also multiply the scalar by 6 and make this position 0 as well. So it's just a tough call what I'm going to do. If I do make this one 0, I'm going to have to, because these are already 0 here, I probably would replace this row just so I can keep these zeros if possible. Let's go ahead and change this one. Let's see what I want to do. I'd really like to make this one 0 if I could. All right, so let's go ahead and make this one 0. Let's see what happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply row 3 by the scalar 6, and I'm going to add it to row 3. So to keep track of that, I'm going to say 6 row 3 plus row 1. And then I have to decide, am I going to replace row 1? Or let's go ahead and replace row 3 because I don't want to change that 0. We'll just see what happens because we can end up swapping out the order later on. And let's see how it goes. So we're going to swap out row 3. I can go ahead and rewrite these first two rows. 3, 6, 0, -3, 3, 1, 3, -1, -4, -12. And then multiplying each value in row 3 by 6, I got 6, -6, 6, 12, and looks like 8 times 6 is 48. And then we got this one, 2, -3, 0, 0, and 8. So I like to find all my zeros first. So adding row 1 and row 3 and replacing row 3, we're going to get, here, I'm going to write it off to the side. We'll erase it and replace it. So we've got 3 plus 6 is 9. 6 minus 6 is 0. 0 plus 6 is 6. -3 plus 12 is positive 9. And 3 and 48 is 51. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just put it here. Replace that. So I'm trying to save room on board. 9, 0, 6, 9, 51. All right. And really, if I had time in my day to do the math, I would work these out early, but I just don't, because these do take time. And I wish that I did have more time, honestly, but I just don't at this point. So I'll go ahead and put the next step here. See if we can fit it in there. Short just a little bit. And part of this is me trying to stay organized with my board and trying to maximize my board space. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to fit that in here. That way I can put my next step here. All right, so we have just matrices, and let's see what I want to do next. Okay, I'm just looking at it and trying to not get in a hurry. Now some time will save mine, so I have to take my own advice. And what I want to do next. So I guess I could make this one 0 next. If I multiply row 2 by 6, then that's going to get rid of this 0. Maybe make that number 0. All right, so we're going to multiply row 2 by 6 now. These numbers and my constants might get a little large, but I really want to add it to here and replace. So that's what we'll do. So we'll say 6 row 2 plus row 3, and we're going to replace row 2 because I don't want to mess up the 0 I just got. So replace row 2. All right, let's do it. So I'm just going to write the first row. We'll do 3, 6, 0, negative 3, 3. And then we've got 6, 18, negative 6, negative 24, and then 12 times 6 is 72. Is that what it is? Yeah. Seeing is believing, so I have to double check. Now I'm going to add it to row 3. Now replacing row 2. So we'll go ahead and just write these other rows in here. 9, 0, 6, 9, 51, and we've got 2, negative 3, 0, 0, 8. And really, I just want to remain calm so that I don't make a mistake. Because part of working on the board in front of the camera is I don't know what the deal is, but it makes me nervous for some reason. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add these 2 rows and put in the next step. 3, 6, 0, negative 3, 3. And then we're going to replace row 2. So we're going to go ahead and make this addition and then write the new row in. 9 plus 6 is 15. We've got 0. 6 minus 6 is 0. 24 minus 9. Is that 15? It's 15. Negative 15. Okay. And then 72 plus 51. So that's 3. 123, I think. Here, let's add it up. 72 plus 51. I like to do the math in my head and then double check my answer. And I'm double checking this. 3, and then we've got 9, 0, 6, 9, 51, 2, -3, 0, 0, 8. And hopefully I'll be able to work on some of this tomorrow. That way it just makes it a lot easier when I get a head start on these higher order systems. And if I'm successful with the 4 variable, I would like to try a 5 variable. So we'll just see how it goes. All right, so what do I want to do next? I might try, let's see, I could, do I want to do that? Well, I was just looking at these first two because I can multiply this by a -5 and add it to this row and make this a 0. These are already zeros, so it's not going to change the value. So that's probably what I want to do. All right, so I'm looking at it and I'm going to multiply row 1 by a -5 because I want to make 15 so I can cancel these two out. So I'm going to say -5 row 1 plus row 2, and we'll replace row 1. Let's do that. So -5 times 3 is -15. -5 times 6 is 30. -5 times 0 is 0. -5 times -3 is +15. And -5 times 3 is -15. So we're going to go ahead and we're replacing row 1. So let's go ahead and write these other rows in. We've got 15, 0, 0, -15. Oh. I didn't think about that, but if I do that, then we're gonna cancel out. Wait, oh, we saw 30. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. This is good. 123, and then we've got 9, 0, 6, 9, 51. We've got 2, -3, 0, 0, and 8. All right. So when I add these first two rows, both of these numbers are going to go to 0. So I'm actually getting a BOGO, and I didn't realize it. Awesome. BOGO, you know, buy one, get one free. All right. So we'll go ahead and do that addition here. And then we've got plus negative is 0. This is 30. And we've got a 0. And then adding these two is also 0. And then I need 123 minus 15. So 123 minus 10 is 113. 113 minus 5 is 108. So we have 123 minus 15. Okay, perfect. Right, so then we're replacing row 1, so then now I can just write these other ones in here. See, it's going to scrunch them. I'm not going to fit them here, so since row 1, so we'll go ahead and rewrite it. Did not leave myself enough room to write that entire matrices, so we're just going to continue here. And we'll say 0. 30 doesn't divide with 8, so it's going to be a weird fraction, but I think it will reduce. we've got 0. And unless there's a mistake, which is fine, we'll correct it later. 0. Really, we're practicing a method, so if you do make mistakes, at least you're getting good practice on the method. And remember, the goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to practice. Yeah, 9, 0, 6, 9, 51, and 2, 3, 0, 0, 8. Yep. Okay. Okay. All right, what do I want to do next? Well, if I make this one, if I multiply this row here by a, let's see, so I'm looking at if I multiply by a 10 and I add it to this row, then I can eliminate this and make that digit 2. Let's do that. All right. So what I'm seeing is that I multiply row 4 by a 10. So we're going to say 10 row 4 plus row 1. We're going to replace row 1. And so I'm not going to write row 1 in here. I'm going to write all of these rows, skip row 1. We'll write it in later. So 15, 0, 0, negative 15, 123, 9, 0, 6, 9, 5, 1. And then 10 times 2 is 20. 10 times negative 3 is negative 30. 10 times 0 is 0. And 10 times 8 is 80. And then what we'll do is we're going to perform this addition. So it's this one plus this one. So 20 plus 0 is 20. Negative 30 plus 30 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. And we've got 8 plus 108 is 116. And it looks like inevitably we're going to end up with some fractions here. Does 51, does 3 divide 51? I think it does. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify everything because it is blowing up all that I can. I'm just going to divide off. So I'm going to end up with fractions if I do that. So we'll go ahead and do it. Inevitably, you cannot avoid fractions with matrices. So if I divide the first row by 20. Just wondering if that's the best thing to do. I could definitely divide off of 15 out of this row here. Make those 1. So this one's going to stay this one. There's no way to eliminate this one, so I'm going to have to eliminate this one next. So I can't make this one 9. All right, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to use reciprocals. So I'm going to make these two numbers cancel out. So what I need to do is I'm going to say 9. Okay, so I'm going to say 9 times row 2, and I'll say 15 times row 3, and then I'll add those 2 rows. So say 9 row 2 plus 15 row 3. And I want to replace row 3. We'll replace row 3. Okay, let's do it. And so let's go ahead and figure out that math. 9 times 15. I'll go ahead and get my calculator out. All right, so right, so we're going to go ahead and write 20, 0, 0, 0, 116. 9 times 15 is 135. And then 0, 0. And then negative 135. And then that 9 times 123 is 1107. And then we've got 135, 0, 15 times 6 is 90. And then we've got 135. 15 times 55. And I'm getting 765. And then that 4th row we're not touching, so we're just going to write it in here. 20, negative 30, 0, 0, 8. All right. Stretch in here. So, I wish I had a little bit more room down there. I might be able to, yeah, it's okay. All right, so we're adding these two. I'm going to write the addition here, and then we'll just write the new matrix, or I can just erase and scratch. So row 2 and row 3 are getting added. So 135 times 2 is 270. We've got 270, 0, 90, 0, and then 1107 plus 765. I'm getting 1872. And then that was going to go in row 3. So we're going to just erase them in place. So I can try to save a little bit more room. We're at 270, 0, 90, 0, and 1872. All right, now what do I want to do? I really need to make some of these zeros in the first column. So it looks like probably definitely maybe this one. So yeah, four variables are pretty tough. So that's okay. It's challenging. All right, so we're going to simplify a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and try to make this one and divide off the 20 from row 1. So let's see if I can put it in here. We get 1, 0, 0, 0. And it's going to be 116 divided by 20 in reduced form. I forget what that reduces to. I'm getting 29/5. 135. Let's divide everything by the 135. So this is going to be 1, 0, 0, negative 1. And then 1107 divided by 135. Math 1. 41/5. And then I can definitely divide off the 10. That'll be 27/9. That'll be 27,090, and it'll be 1872 divided by 10. Math 1. So 9/36. And then dividing off 10 from this row also, this is going to give you 2, and negative 3. I'm getting my columns mixed up. 2, negative 3, 0, 0, and then 8/10. Okay, now only 4/5. So you definitely can't escape fractions when you're dealing with matrices, and that's one of the beauties of matrices is that people that don't know how to deal with fractions or are not comfortable with fractions, you just haven't spent enough time working with them. So it's, again, it's a skill, and that's a good thing. All right, so we're looking at this system now, seeing how I can rearrange and change things around a little bit. And again, we're trying to move towards getting that identity matrix. So I think what we should do is we should try to eliminate some of these in the first column and see where we end up. So I'm actually going to try to, I think I can fit it in here. I'll put it right next to it. So I know it's out of order, it's disorganized, but oh well, maybe next time we'll be more organized. So I'm going to multiply one of these by a negative. Let's multiply row 2 by a -1 and add it to row 1. So we're going to go negative row 2 plus row 1, replace, which one do we want to replace? I guess we'll replace row 2. All right, so we're going to repeat that first one. 1, move out of the way. 1, 0, 0, 0, 29/5. And then this one is -1, 0, 0, 1. And then this would be negative 41 fifths. And then this one is 27, 0, 9, 0, 9, 3, 6 fifths. And then 2, negative 3, 0, 0, and 4 fifths. All right, so now we're going to add these two rows and we'll write the new step here. I'm trying to see how small I can write. And we're replacing row 2, so we're going to keep row 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 29 fifths. And we have adding to row 2 here, just performing this addition. We've got 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. And then I've got to figure out what 29 fifths plus a negative 41 fifths is. So we can do that right here, right next to it. We're just going to add these fractions. They have the same denominator. So we've got 29 over 5 plus a negative 41 over 5. So 41 minus 29 is 12. So we need negative 12. This is negative 12 fifths. So we're going to get that right here. All right, and then we just copy these other two rows. We've got 27, 0, 9, 0, and 9, 3, 6 divided by 5. And then we've got 2, negative 3, 0, 0. So we're going to have to rearrange these, and then this is 4 fifths. Really running out of room here. So this one is going to be the last one. This one's the first one. So we're going to go ahead and just, we'll do it right next to it. Swapping these rows out here. So we've got the first one, 1, 0, 0, 0, 29 over 5. And we're going to replace these rows. So we're going to write this one 0, 0, 0, 1. Negative 12 fifths. There. And then we've got these middle rows. I'm not sure what we're going to do with them yet. Let me just think about it for a second before I make a determination. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can get a 0 here out of one of those before I rewrite them in here. So if I multiply, okay, so this one's going to be multiplied by 2, and this one's going to get multiplied by negative, well, negative 2 and a positive 27. All right. We'll just rewrite them in here. So it's going to be, we swapped row 2 and 4. So we've got 27 times 2 is 54. I know it's 54, but we'll just do it. 27 times 2. Add 2 times 0 is 0. Negative 18, 0, and then it's going to be, this one's going to be negative 18, 72 over 5. and then we're multiplying this row by 27, so that's going to be negative 54 plus 54. 27 times negative 3 is negative 81. And then we've got 0, 0, and 27 times 45. Wait, it's 4/5. Why? I must be tired. So 27 times 4 is 108. 108/5. All right, so we're going to try to be a little bit more concise about these. So now in this step, I'm going to add these, and I want to make one of them 0. This is already 0, so we want to keep this one 0 if we can. So we'll add it and replace row 3. So if we're going to do row 2 plus row 3, and we'll replace row 3. And see what that gives us. So copy the first one down. 1, 0, 0, 0, 29/5, and negative 54, 0, negative 18, 0, negative 18, 72/5. And then doing this addition, we've got 0 here, negative 81, negative 18, and 0, and then 108/5, and we've got 0, 0, 0. One, negative 12/5. Okay. So we're going to multiply this by -1. We're going to add and replace row 2. So negative row 2 plus row 3 replace row 2 now. Let's see if that helps. So we've got 1, 0, 0, 0, 29/5. We've got 54, 0, 18, 0, positive 18/72/5. And we've got 0, negative 81, negative 18, 0, 108 divided by 5. And we've got 0, 0, 0, 1, negative 12/5. All right, and I still haven't added these rows together, so I'll go ahead and do that in this step. So 54 plus 0 is 54. And then we have to replace row 3. We can't replace row 2. So scratch that. 54, negative 81, 0, 0, and then I got to figure out what 108 plus 18/72 is. 1980, and that divides 5, so we're getting a whole number. That's 396. So that's my new row 3. All right, let's just see what it looks like. I'm tired. Okay, 1, 0, 0, 0, 29 fifths. And then we've got 54, 0, 18, 0, 18, 72 fifths. And then we've got 54, negative 81, 0, 0, 108 divided by 5. And then we've got 0, 0, 0, 1, negative 12 fifths. Lots of zeros in here. I'm almost an hour in. I had no idea. Well, I feel like I'm very close to solving this. I might be going around a merry-go-round of some sort. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to make one of these 0 again. Try. So if I multiply by negative 1, multiply this by negative 1, and add to row 3 again. Yeah, I need to make one of those 0. So I'll do that. I mean, this one's already negative, so we'll do this one negative maybe. Negative 1. Let's see. So it's negative 54 plus 81, 0, 0, and negative 108 divided by 5. And add it to row 2. That will give me 0, negative 81. It's giving me 18 again. I don't want to do that. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm almost an hour in and I haven't solved this thing yet. So I feel like I want one of those windy paths. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say to be continued. And I'm going to continue working this one. So my goal is to spend some of my spare time, which I really don't have a lot, but we'll make some. See it and look at it. When I'm alone doing the math for myself, it's a different experience. So I will continue working. Also, my brain will just go to work on this on its own. And so it's amazing. So I've got the groundwork laid for this matrices. These are not simple by any means. And yeah, probably pick it up again tomorrow. So if you want to come join me and hang out and see how this ends tomorrow, you're more than welcome to do that. I'm going to go ahead and probably end the stream now and sign off. And yeah, I will be back again tomorrow, same time, same place. Right now, my live stream is between 6 and 7 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. But if it's subject to change, I'll probably post that. I'll definitely post it both places on my Facebook page, and I will also post it on. Right now, I just have YouTube, and I recently got a Facebook page set up for Ask Professor L as well. So I'm looking into other platforms, but since I've shunned social media my entire life, it's been really challenging trying to figure all that out. So I'm just trying to take it in stride and just accomplish one thing at a time. But I will for sure be back here tomorrow, same time, same place, and see if I can get the solution to this problem. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my video, and yeah, I'll be back again next time. So I'll say bye for now, and I'll see you later.